That perfectly segues into my next question. You bring up the Western powers. You bring up the United States of America and their involvement in this conflict. Today is November 21st, and just about 2 weeks ago, Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. As the primary enabler and financier of Israel's genocide in Gaza, this election has major implications for the Palestinian and Lebanese people. Can you provide your analysis of how the upcoming Trump president affects the conflict?
There is a special relationship between America and Israel, and America gives Israel money, arms, and advice on what to do with the Palestinians. And Israel takes the money, takes the arms, and rejects the advice to settle the conflict with the Palestinians. The problem with American support for Israel is that it is unconditional. So Israel doesn't have to pay any price for defying America. And we saw this in the war in Gaza. Israel gets from America $3.8 billion in military aid every year. But Biden has provided Israel with an additional $17 billion of military aid. So in the last year, Israel has received $20 billion in military aid from America. And America up the phone and say, you have 48 hours or I'm cutting off military aid. No American president has ever. So it's because of the unconditional nature of America for Israel that Israel gets away literally and now literally with genocide. So Biden is bad enough. Biden has described himself as a Zionist. Biden has one of the strongest records of support for Israel. He was vice president under Obama for 8 years, and he consistently opposed attaching any conditions to American aid. So American aid under him as vice president and president isn't conditional on Israel respecting Palestinian human rights or respecting international law. It's unconditional. Now, Trump is not an unknown quantity, and Trump had a term as president, and we know what his views are. It's unconditional support for Israel. Trump only understands for Trump, in his simplistic world view, the Israelis are winners and the Palestinians are losers. President Trump cut off all American financial aid to UNRWA, the UN agency that looks after Palestinian refugees. When Trump was president, he moved the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and he recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. And he came up with a ridiculous peace plan, which enabled Israel to annex 30% of the West Bank. So it wasn't much of a peace plan. And he also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the occupied Golan Heights. So this gives us a very clear idea of what Trump is likely to do as president. He doesn't believe in a Palestinian state, and he doesn't think the Palestinians have any rights. He's already said that Jerusalem is already settled, so it's not an issue for negotiations. The Palestinians have refugees. They are not really refugees. Only the survivors from now are refugees. So there isn't a Jerusalem issue. There isn't a right of return. And that's likely to be, when he takes over as president, he is likely to continue with this one-sided policy of support for Israel. But there is one area in which he's unpredictable, and that is Iran. For the last 2 decades, has been trying to instigate a war and to drag America into a regional war so that America would destroy the Iranian nuclear facilities. That's been his aim, but he has failed to achieve it. This is what he's doing now by extending the conflict to Lebanon and the war against Iran's ally, Hezbollah. And I think that Iran is concerned. We don't know what as far as the future of the conflict between Israel and Iran is concerned. I cannot predict what Trump is going to do.